3, 2, 1, and...
So we'd love to hear your thoughts on what's happening in the real estate market for August.
August was busy. It actually didn't feel as busy as perhaps the last few Augusts in terms of people on the ground, cars on the road, that sort of thing. I think actually this August a lot of people took quite an extended period of time away. However, in terms of the actual real estate market, it was still incredibly busy. The DLD figures came out, transactions were up roughly 20%, and our signed MOU, so new deals agreed, August 2023 versus 2022 were up 25%. So, it might have felt a little bit quieter in the city, but certainly in terms of the property market, it was still incredibly busy.
What are your predictions for the rest of the year?
I think the rest of the year we'll probably see much of the same. Number one, we're likely to see a lack of property, lack of stock in the market, certainly the secondary market. Number two, lots of demand, lots of people both domestically and internationally looking to buy. And therefore, number three, prices will probably continue to move in the direction they have been doing, albeit I think we are seeing a slowing of pace in terms of price increases. So much of the same as we go into the last quarter. It is that period of time where lots of people are looking to move before the end of the year, hopefully enjoy the end of the year festivities and the new year in a new home. So we always expect in September, October, a lot more people coming to the market. So, I think it'll be a busy period as always.
Do you think we should be buying or renting?
Look, I think anybody who's got both the means and the desire to stay somewhere long term should buy a property rather than rent a property. It makes obvious sense to pay for your own mortgage rather than paying for your landlord's mortgage. Now that is obviously case by case, depends on an individual's circumstances. But yeah, I would always encourage somebody to buy their own home, start building their wealth through home ownership, and crucially have that security of tenure that it's your home and you're not going to get a letter from a landlord to move out at the end of each year. So I'd always encourage somebody to buy if they can. Hi Ryan.
Morning.
You're next for a shave. Don't do that to me. So tell me when you're ready.
What are your thoughts on Russia and the impact of the ruble?
Russian investors have undoubtedly had a big impact into the Dubai property market over the last 18 months to 2 years. The recent pressure on the ruble that we've seen, I think, will impact that, from an affordability point of view. So it might be that we see a little bit of a cooling from Russian investors, although, if we think about the main driving force of Russian investment, geopolitics in Eastern Europe, that's likely to continue. On the flip side, though, we're seeing an increase in demand from other parts of the world. China, for example, has really opened up this year, and we're starting to see investors coming through. And then this week alone, we got the long-awaited announcement about gaming licenses here in the UAE, and I think that's going to open up Dubai again to a new audience from across the world. So whilst we might see one demographic of interest cool slightly, I think there's plenty more interest from across the globe.
In your opinion, do the standard indicators for a booming market apply in Dubai?
I think the key indicators of a booming market globally, you look at the fundamentals such as strong employment, strong GDP growth, you'd look at low interest rates and low inflation, and somewhere like Dubai, you'd look at a positive currency outlook. Now, if you take those last two, inflation, interest rates and the dollar, both have been headwinds to our market for the last 2 years. We've seen interest rates go from 0 to over 5%, and we've seen a very, very strong dollar, which traditionally we might see as a bit of an anchor to our market, but it hasn't been the case. Over the last 2 years, the market's increased, prices have increased, really because despite those headwinds, Dubai is done extremely well in attracting people, and the market has been growing alongside population growth. And that's been the story of Dubai over the last 3 years, and that's been the story of Dubai in terms of going from strength to strength, despite what we might traditionally look at some headwinds, some anchors.
What are your thoughts on the future of Dubai?
The future of Dubai, the future of the market, the $1 million question. Well, I think when you look at Dubai, you look at the future of our real estate market, you really need to look at what's happening in the wider world. And in particular, what's happening in terms of migration and high net worth individual migration. Dubai last year was the #1 destination for millionaires migrating anywhere in the world. 4 times more millionaires moved to the little old Dubai of 3.5 million people than moved to America, a country of 380 million people, which is an outstanding and phenomenal statistic. Now, why is that? Well, education, healthcare, visa reform, all those things we know. So Dubai is positioning itself to be very attractive to people. And then you've got to think, are we going to see more of that migration or less over the coming 5 or 10 years? Well, sadly we're seeing a more polarised world, we're seeing geopolitical tensions, we're seeing an increase in climate change disasters, we're seeing financial and political instability in the West. All of those things are probably going to make that migration more, not less likely. So you put the two things together, the pull factors of Dubai, and sadly the push factors elsewhere in the world, and I think Dubai will continue to grow and continue to attract high net worth individuals, and off the back of that our market will continue to do well.
That's really good, I like that. Do you want to do it again?
All right, you clearly want me to do it again.
No.